Children's nickname I can use for daughter's private area? Girls equals? Boys equals willy? Just use the word for it? My mom always said vulva. No one was uncomfortable and I got to learn the proper word for my own anatomy. Call it a vagina or vulva. I work in pediatrics. When you use funny names, it puts your children at risk for not being understood when reporting sexual assault. If they tell their teacher someone touched their sparkle box, that may not be taken seriously or understood. Use the word vagina or vulva. Edit. Thanks for my first gold. Edit. To all those pompously commenting about vulva being the anatomically correct term for the outer portion of the female's genitals. Yes, vulva is the correct term. I listed both vagina and vulva because you would actually be amazed how many adults do not know that term, understand that it pertains to female genitalia. I have used that term in healthcare before and the person told me their throat was fine because they thought it was the thing in the back of their throat. The uvula. I think we can all agree vagina is still better than sparkle box. I'm not sure why you'd expect a 3 years old to be able to differentiate between all the components of her genitalia yet. The term vagina is a safe starting point to build upon. I think it's best if children know the proper name for their body parts. Just in case something happens, they can properly explain what happened to them and where. Can you imagine a doctor or police officer trying to decipher pet names for private parts? I live with my niece and nephew. Nephew knows what he has is a penis and my 5-year-old niece knows she has a vulva. It may be confronting to you, but it's important for children and anyone to know the correct wording. For their anatomy, children don't know any different to what you teach them, so why does it have to have a secret name? I wish I was raised with the correct wording. I knew the correct wording by the age I was that I reported my sexual assault, but I was too ashamed to say the anatomically correct wording because it felt uncomfortable for me to at the time, which is unfortunate because I gave vague answers instead of telling my assault exactly how it was. Vulva is just a word for a body part and nothing to be scared of, as is penis. Female. Vulva male. Penis. Just call it what it is. Children don't have weird hang-ups about words. No need to project your uncomfortableness onto them. It's called a vulva, just like it's called an arm, a nose, a leg, a whatever. It is not a body part to be ashamed of and it has a name. Why not use it? What's the worst that could happen? That your child will know basic body terminology? My mother called it a flower when I was a child. It did make talking about flowers when I was school-aged confusing and awkward though. I just always called it vagina with my own child. To avoid that lol. I know it can be uncomfortable at first, but do not use a nickname for her genitals. And say, penis, when referring to male genitals. Studies have shown knowing anatomical names for privates helps to avoid and report sexual abuse. If someone abuses your daughter, God forbid, you want her to be able to verbalize effectively to you or any other adult where she was touched. I grew up calling it my front butt and saying, boys have Twinkies. Imagine if I tried telling an adult, Mr. X made me touch his Twinkie, or, so and so touched my front. But it would be a lot easier for the adult to misunderstand than, Mr. X made me touch his penis. Or, so and so touched my vagina. Using the proper word is actually a protection for kids. As if something happens, they can use the proper words to tell someone in an understandable way. Honestly, using stupid names for genitals with kids is weird to me. Just call it what it is, lol, kids not gonna care. It's highly recommended that you use the correct terms for their privates. If there is any issues, pain, discomfort, Abuse. Your child will be able to communicate that without being misunderstood. Don't say cutesy kids' names. It's dangerous. Call them the actual terminology. It is extremely important to not use nicknames for their private parts. Stay with the tried and true proper names. Here is why. Sally gets molested by her Uncle Bob. Sally tells her teacher that Uncle Bob played with her bird. The teacher knows not what she was just told. Instead of calling the authorities, she's patting Sally on the head, saying, "Oh, that's good, dear. What's your bird's name?" and then goes on with her day. This is a real scenario. Give them the names medically given to them. Please listen to these comments about the danger of not using the correct terms. I work in a field that often addresses child abuse, and there are actual documented cases of sexual abusers getting away with harming children because the child didn't know correct terms for their genitals. Please use the correct word. This will help keep her safe from child abuse, and she'll know the words to tell adults if something has happened. As a health practitioner, I highly recommend that you use the proper name. Unless you come up with cutesy names for other body parts. I say this for a couple of reasons. Cutesy names make them think there is some sort of shame involved with those body parts and can cause issues as they grow older. It makes conversations at your doctor's office more understandable for all involved. Heaven forbid one of them gets molested. Using the proper name when doing a police report will decrease the possibility of any understanding. Giving parts cute nicknames is dangerous. I have a teacher friend who told me a story about a little girl who kept talking about her uncle eating her cookie. Teacher thought uncle was stealing the kid's Oreos until the girl talked about her cookie being uncomfortable. The teacher realized what was happening. If she didn't have a nickname for her vulva, she would have gotten help sooner. Kids do best if you use the correct names for body parts. So penis and vulva. We don't have silly names for other body parts, and using silly names communicates some sort of shame, secret about these parts. You of course want to teach about privacy and bad touch, good touch, etc. But not that these body parts are themselves bad or shameful. What if we called knees, elbows, tummies, mouth, ears, etc. weird names? Can you imagine the confusion of trying to sort out what part was hurt when someone says ma? Knobbly wobbly got banged up. I don't understand why you are uncomfortable using the proper terms like vulva. I taught my kids crotch, which actually turned out to be helpful because it's the same word for both of them. But I use the anatomical names when I need to get specific with one.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.